realized there were no eggs or yogurt or fruit, which meant oatmeal, which takes an additional 8 minutes by the most optimistic estimate. And so because of my own late start and the absence of the eggs, I had to rush her through breakfast, and lately she hates to be rushed, hates to have things cleared away before she is ready. So when I took the oatmeal away, she started wailing, and when I carried her into our room, she screamed and stiffened and threw her body back against my arms, a great, dramatic, backward swan dive, with no regard for whatever might lie behind. And when I hustled her onto the floor to get dressed and held up the onesie and tried to invest her in the process like they say you should, she started shrieking and thrashing anew. And it felt very distressing, very critical, very personal, and I gripped her arms tightly, too tightly, arriving at a threshold of tightness that felt dangerous but obscurely good in a way I wouldn't care to investigate further. And then I tugged the onesie over her head, looked at the time, put my own head in my hands, and sobbed for 30 seconds. Angen's primary criticism of me is that whenever he tries to initiate a serious conversation, I start crying, which activates his innate gallantry and sympathy, and which effectively halts whatever potentially challenging conversation we are having. He calls it a tactic. I call it a reflex. "What do you do when they criticize you at work?" he asked me once. And I told him truthfully that at work I am perfect. Whatever the thing is, my tactic or reflex, it worked on Honey because she paused and I seized the moment to stuff all her limbs into the onesie, the pants, the socks. Then I put her down and got dressed while she rampaged cutely around the bedroom and messed with the doodads on my bedside table. Evil eyes and icons and various other apotropaics I keep meaning to hang up on the wall. And then I dutifully put the little rice-sized grain of toothpaste on the little toothbrush festooned with Elmo and Friends and sang the song from the Elmo video, but she clamped her mouth shut tight, and pearly tears squeezed from her eyes, and I gave up, which I do 4 times out of 10. But all this was par for the course. In fact, it was a small miracle that we were out the door at 7:55 for a nearly on-time daycare arrival of 8:05. Then to the streetcar, then to the train, there to zone out with the Turkish work of mid-century social realist fiction I've been trying to read for 3 years, then switch trains, then to the planter boxes of a Wells Fargo to smoke a cigarette, then up the hill to arrive at work at 9:35, which is a little over 1 hour later than I'm supposed to be there according to the terms of my offer letter. But I'm still the first in the office, and if I bring Honey to daycare at 8, the earliest they accept kids, I can't get to work any earlier than 9:30. Even if I don't smoke a cigarette, it is physically impossible. In the office, things had proceeded more or less as usual. I visited the visa status check page of the National Visa Center website to see the status of Angen's green card, which is, in perpetuity, at NVC, which means nothing except that not a single thing that needs to happen has happened. I checked the bank balance, $341 checking, $1,847 emergency. This had 5 months ago been a plump and hopeful $4,147 until the forced abandonment of Angen's green card and immediate forced return of Angen to Turkey at our expense and the subsequent retention of an attorney to reapply and the new application fee and the recent additional lawyer's fee to understand why it has been at NVC for 5 months with no perceptible forward movement, which is, we have lately been told, a probable click of the mouse error. I paused to silently pray that whatever future emergencies might arise can be resolved for under $1,847. I checked the credit card balance, $835 less $483 in pending reimbursements for miscellaneous catering expenses. I checked the university purchasing portal to see the status of my pending reimbursements, and verily, they were still pending. I checked my retirement balance, $9,321, which was theoretically comforting, although I cannot, of course, access it without penalty for 27 years. I checked an immigration thread on Baby Center, very short, and a subreddit, very sad. I looked at a WeChat picture from daycare, showing Honey's diaper and a troublingly small turd. I checked WhatsApp for Angen's last greeting and sent him the picture of the turd. And finally, I listened to a voicemail from the Office of Risk Management relaying that I would have to make a statement regarding the death of student Ellery Simpson and injuries sustained by student Mary M. Corey in a taxi outside the Fidanlic Park refugee camp on a research trip supported with funds